the last time a Nigerian coach, invited 42. This was not provisional. Hello and thank you for joining me on AY Sugar Naija Lifestyle channel. My name is AY Sugar, and I'm delighted to be back here and ready to, jump on what's trending on the social media. And of course, it's about the Super Eagles 39-man provisional World Cup Qualifiers list. And a lot of debate going on right now, which name is supposed to be there, which is not, and a lot of people are saying many things about the players that are on the list, those that did not make it, who will eventually make the final 23-man list that would play the qualifiers against Rwanda and the Zimbabwean national teams. They're called the Warriors in Uyo on the 25th. Well, welcome to my channel. As Eric Chelle made the right decision to make us know, the players he's spoken with, he's seen that are good enough, and he's got a Herculean task, to select the 23 that will prosecute those two games. And the last time a Nigerian coach, invited 42, this was not provisional, and I'm not capping at all. 42-man team, was used to prosecute the two games against the Pharaohs of Egypt, leading to the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations. And guess what? All 42 were invited. And, we traveled all the way to Egypt, Alexandria, after we played a 1-1 draw against a Mohamed Salah-inspired Egyptian side, 1-1 in Kaduna, then all the way to Alexandria. I was on that trip, and it was not funny at all, and we did not get the required results to take us to AFCON 2017, and we did not qualify for that particular Nations Cup. So certainly, we're back here again, but 39 will not be used to prosecute these games. We would have a more sizable number in a couple of days, because we've just got about, about 14 days, if not lesser, to the camp opening, I think on the 17th or so, and we should have a full house, hopefully on the 19th. We're playing the first game in Kigali against Rwanda, the table toppers. It's a must-win game, that we must win that particular game. They have a new coach, by the way, Adel Amrouche, former Tanzania coach, very widely traveled on the continent of Africa. We'll talk about that in a different video, but let's quickly focus on the Super Eagles. Let's see the names on that particular list. I'll quickly get into the thick of the action. Yeah, first off, 5 players, goalkeepers, have been penciled down by Eric Chelle, the coach of the Super Eagles. We have Stanley Wabali, fantastic season he's having. He had a man of the match performance against Richards Bay FC in the PSL, the Premier Soccer League in South Africa a couple of days ago, and it was outstanding, and he's going to still remain the number one, definitely. We also have Maduka Okoye, just back from injury, of course he plays for Udinese in the Serie A. Then we have Amas Abasoge, who is also standing between the sticks for Singinda Black Stars in the Tanzanian league. We have Adele Adebayo, his name coming back again after a while. He moved all the way from Israel, to Cyprus, and he currently plays for NOC's Panslimini. Then we have Kayode Bankole of Remo Start completing the 5 players in the goalkeeping department. Now let's move to the defense. Now, very key area, because we've got injury concerns, and we also have age. You talk about the experience of the best player of the last AFCON, who is also just come back from injury. That's Al Khaloud FC defender William Troost Ekong, who is the captain of the side. He's back in the mix, of course, after an injury layoff for a while for his club. Then we have Bright Osai Samuel, who plays for Fenerbahce SK in the Turkish Super League. We have Bruno Onyemechi, who was moved, and of course has moved, when you talk about progressed in his career, moving from Boa Vista in Portugal all the way to Olympiacos, and one of the biggest moves by a Nigerian in the winter transfer window. So great one for Bruno, and he'll be coming all the way from Greece. We have Gabriel Osho, who is will be hoping to make his third game for the Super Eagles, hoping to get his 3rd cap. And we have Calvin Bassey, who has been outstanding, for Fulham. He's been, very present in the middle of that defense line for Fulham this season, and he's scored 2 goals, one against Manchester United a couple of days ago. Calvin Bassey is having a season of his life. We have Olaoluwa, who is also one of those players that is enjoying a very fantastic season with Nottingham Forest. They are one of the top 5 teams in the current EPL table, and he's been outstanding. One of the top 5 best right backs in the world, and we're proud to have Olai in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Then we have Zaidu Sanusi, who is coming back after a long time. The last time we saw him play for the Super Eagles was against I think South Africa. That was the last game. I didn't think he played the final, and he's been out injured since that particular time, and it's good to have him back to compete. And well, I don't know if he's going to make the final 23 because, well, the coach has a lot of work to do, but maybe we'll see what will happen in a couple of days. Iwobi, a lot of people have been talking about Igor's performance for SK Slavia Prague in the Czech Republican League, and of course sometimes he's featured on the continent of Europe, playing in the UEL. And let's see what happens if he's going to make the final list. Jordan Tanariha is another player that's been invited or that's been penciled down by coach Eric Chelle, and we also have Ifeanyi Onyebuchi of Rangers International, fantastic defender. And one thing about Eric Chelle, especially about the home-based players that he has picked so far, I know he's got the support of Rangers of Enugu coach, that's Fidelis Ilechukwu. He's also got the support of fantastic coach of Remo Stars, Daniel Gomodede, who is doing exceptionally well in the league this season, looking at the gap they have at the top of the table, and 12-point gap. That's massive. That's outstanding. That's amazing. And I must say kudos must go to him. So I know he's got the support of these 2 coaches, but Eric Chelle has really worked very hard. He's been at different centers. We've seen him in Kano, we've seen him in Ikorodu's games, we've seen him what the Chani goes against Sunshine. He's been, in a number of places, and it means that he's serious. He's serious about getting the home-based players, getting them into the main team. So we'll see how that pans out in a couple of months from now, because I know time is too short for him to be able to really pick more of them. Then let's go to the midfield. We've got Wilfred Ndidi, who's been having a good season for Leicester. Though Leicester are not doing very well in the EPL, but Wilfred, you can't take away his quality and experience. He's one of the captains of the Super Eagles. We have Rafael Onyedika, who also has been very outstanding, featuring for Club Brugge in the UEFA Champions League this season, of course, in the Belgian Division 1 League. We also have Alassane Yusuf, who plays for New England Revolution. Amazing weekend he had, man of the match against Columbus, and it's good to have him also penciled down. We have Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Injury concerns about Fisayo, you can't take away what it brings to the team. It brings that commanding presence in the middle of a pack for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We hope he recovers on time and they'll get picked for the final 23 that should prosecute those 2 games. Then we have Frank Onyeka, of course, the tank himself. He's been doing very well for Augsburg in the German Bundesliga, and it's good to have him. Of course, he's going to make the final cut. Then we have Alex Wonderboy Iwobi. Yes, Iwobinho, as we call him. Alex has had a fantastic season for Fulham, just like Calvin Bassey, and he has scored 7 goals the first time in his career. He's scoring the number of goals for an attacking midfielder, and he's had an amazing season so far. And like I said in previous videos, Eric Chelle loves Alex. I'm sure he will build his midfield around him. He's been having such or enjoying such privileges in the past, so I'm sure this will still be the same thing. Then we have Joseph Ayodele Aribo, that's Joe Aribo, coming back after a while. The last time he featured was in the Nations Cup final. Then we have Anthony Dennis, a new name coming into the list. Well, we'll see what Dennis can really break into the team. I know the reason why the coach has, I'll talk about the reasons later on. So let's not jump the gun. Let's move on. Then we'll look at Crisantos Uche. He's been having rave reviews in the Spanish La Liga, doing amazingly well for himself, and it's good to have his name being penciled out by Eric Chelle. Then we have Papa Daniel Mustafa of Naija Tornadoes. Not so much, but in the league, my guys covering the league in Nigeria have said so many good things about him. They're not surprised he has made the provisional list. Now we go all the way to where he choke. When you hear he choke. Striking department for Nigeria, or more, he hot. Should I start with current African Footballer of the Year, who has scored 17 goals despite injuries and everything for Atalanta, and his all challenges that he's had with Gasperini, the coach of the side. But Ademola Lookman is going to be a threat any day. But imagine the man himself, Victor James Osimhen, 20 goals and assists. this season for Galatasaray. Oh my God. What a player Osimhen is. Definitely, it's good to have Osimhen, and we hope that before that game, Osimhen is fit and okay, no injury. Because the reason why we are here today, when you talk about the stand where the Super Eagles are right now on the table, is because Osimhen was not available in those 4 games. We were not able to score. So with Osimhen there, he may not score, but you know what he brings to the table. You just cannot even talk about it. Let's just leave it there. Then we'll go all the way to Kelechi Iheanacho, who has been having, challenges from Sevilla to Middlesbrough now, and he's on the list of the provisional 39-man provisional World Cup qualifiers list. Then we have Victor Boniface, amazing finisher any day for Bayer Leverkusen. We have Moses Simon, who's also having an amazing season in Nantes, one of the top assisters in the Ligue 1 this season. One of the leaders of the team. It's good to also have Sadiq Umar from Valencia, who scored 2 great goals last weekend, and it's good to have him back in the mix to come compete for a spot. We have Nathan Taylor, who's also been doing very well. Put him in the wing, Nathan will deliver. Put him up front if Patrick Schick is not there, if Victor Boniface is not there, if Florian Wirtz is not there. Of course, Nathan Taylor is always the man Alonso goes to, and he delivers, and he scored amazing goals against even top sides like Bayern Munich this season. So certainly I trust him. Another player, Cyril Kolawole Dessers. He plays for Glasgow Rangers in the Scottish Premier League, and he's faced a lot of challenges this season. People criticizing him, even in his club, fans not believing him, but he's raked in goals and assists, 21 this season for Cyril Dessers, one of the best seasons ever, and I'm not surprised that his name is on the 39-man provisional list. I know it's going to be battle for him, because you look at the names I've called and the competition is so much, but we need everything in our arsenal to face Rwanda and of course to beat Zimbabwe. Okay, we also have Tolu Arokodare, the beast himself. He scored 16 goals and 6 assists this season for Genk. What a player. He's having an amazing season. He started from lowly sides, in Latvia. The gutters of European football, where nobody was looking at. And a few years on now, look how he's proven himself. And of course, a deserved, name drop, so to speak, on the provisional list of the Super Eagles for the World Cup qualifiers. So I'm not surprised Tolu is there. Well, we'll see if Tolu makes it. I've been imagining things in my head. Tolu, Osimhen, Ademola, Victor, we just we fool everywhere. Chidera Ejuke is back. It's good to have him. He's going to compete. He plays for Sevilla, and he's going to have a new man for Sevilla, Akko Adams, who also has been penciled down. Then we have finally, let's talk about Paul Onuachu, who has scored 2 goals in the Premier League this season. Southampton was struggling, but Paul is trying to come out of it from a lot, and he's trying to show his quality. We know what he's done, in previous clubs he's played at. So certainly we'll see how it goes if he makes the final call. Then we have the legend himself, Ahmed Musa, who is back on that list. The last time was at the AFCON, and now debate everywhere about Ahmed Musa even making the 39-man list. Well, let's now, I've mentioned everybody in the list. So we have 5 goalkeepers mentioned or penciled down, 10 defenders, 10 midfielders, and 14 attackers. That's where our strength lies, and certainly that's where our strength lies, and certainly I'm not surprised that we have them packed full. So what's going to happen now? The reason why Coach Eric Chelle has decided to, pencil out 39 players, for the provisional list. Of course, a big party, because these games are must-win games. These games, we cannot joke with these games. These games, we must win them. So, of course, injuries, we have few more days to the window opening. I think maybe the 17th, we should be expecting players, in Nigeria, and from there they'll fly to Kigali. So I'm sure, well, we hope there are no injury concerns to key players, but he's just trying to say, okay, let's throw it open like this. If you don't do that on time and you want to now suddenly invite players, the clubs have a right, that you didn't submit that invite within the 14 days window FIFA gives. So definitely you'll be ruled out. So that's the reason why he sent the invitation, and that means that anybody can be captured again. When you talk about if for instance he prunes it down to 23 and 1, 2, 3 players gets injured, he can always substitute them because they were previously invited or initially invited. So that's the reason why Eric Chelle has made this particular provisional man list so big as this. A lot of people are talking. Of course, Nigerians will always talk, and they are very concerned about their team. I'm also concerned. I'm concerned because I cannot imagine going to the United States, and not having the Super Eagles there to come, through that particular country into a frenzy, with all the swag and everything. So definitely I'm worried, but I know that we got this. Then apart from that, the competition will be very tight. I'm not sure. If you look at the goalkeeping department, the very regular names that Nwabali, who has been amazing, Madika Koye, who is a big competitor, who always competes with Nwabali. Then Amas, has been invited in the past 5-6 games. So I'm not going to be surprised Amas will be one of the top 3 players that will be invited. Maybe Adeleye because of his experience, exposure. We'll never know what is in the mind or on the mind of Eric Chelle right now. For the defense, maybe 2 players will be off. They'll have to take 2 players off. We have concerns, just like Semi is out because of injury again. William Ekong is just coming back from injury, but of course, experience, leadership is going to bring into the team. Calvin is there to help us. Bright is also there. Bruno is there. So I think the ones I mentioned, Gabriel has been invited before. So I'm sure the coach may even leave the 10 players. You never know, because he needs everything to secure. And he needs everything, to win. So you just don't focus on the attack. You focus also on the defense line, and that's what I'm sure you will want to look at. Then the midfield, of course. Over the time in the past, we've always had a lean midfield where you talk about the number of players. In fact, at some point, Genetro invited only 4 midfielders, and a lot of people were complaining why it's just 4 midfielders. The creative department of the team. Very importantly, Eric Chelle has swollen it up now, and has increased the number of players for now to 10. Let's see, maybe we'll prune it out to 7 or 6. So we'll see how that pans out. Then the attack, he choked, like I said earlier, 14 players. So is it going to take away about 6 of them to leave 8? Because regularly in the past we've always had 8 players, make the final attack list, including wingers and forwards, that are strikers. So maybe this time 10. Maybe he would eventually release 25 man and drop 14. So we'll never know what's on his mind. He's at liberty to invite as many, as far as the NFF can cater for them. South Africa, in fact, the coach, Hugo Bros, has said that he believes Nigeria will get back on track. And we should be. We certainly have a scary squad here. So we should be able to make our mark and show that we'll be serious people when it comes to football. And we should show that, from our performances against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. Well, again, so much to really say, but I will look at the attack line. I don't think, some players may not make it now, but they are in his plans. That's what it means. From what invitations we've seen now, or the names he's penciled down, it shows clear intent that a more attack is his thing. And like we said in previous videos, Eric Chelle loves to score goals. He wants players that can deliver. He wants players he can trust. And that's why he's shown that clearly with the number of players in the attack line, and I'm not going to be surprised he may have 10 of them eventually making the cut for the final list of players that will prosecute this game. So I've given you the reasons why he's had a bloated squad on his provisional list, and also what he intends to achieve and the possible players that may drop out. If you look at the performances of the players, especially the striking department, Chukwueze has been doing very well. He scored the last time for AC Milan against Lazio. Victor Osimhen, of course, certainly up front there is going to be the man. Ademola Lookman supporting him all the way. We are going to always have the likes of Boniface. You talk about Moses Simon, Sadiq and maybe Dessers and Tolu. Nathan also in the wing, trying to help from the wing department. So certainly it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in a couple of days. Ahmed Musa, a lot of people have been talking. He's been very active, you know, playing for Kano Pillars, scored a number of goals some weeks ago, and he brings experience, he brings leadership, you know, but, you know, are they going to have him, you know, in this particular set of games? Well, only the man, Eric Chelle, who collects the big fat check, that would decide, or even tell us, you know, at the end of maybe a number of days, you know, we'll get to know, and I will find out if Ahmed Musa will be included into that team. So, well, so much on our plate. I've got interviews that I will be releasing in a couple of days. I spoke with the coach of Mali. He's going to be talking about the Malian national team, and of course how they are preparing for the World Cup qualifiers. We also have the coach of the champions of Africa, MS Faye, talk about the champions, the Ivorian national team, their preparation towards the qualifiers, and we'll talk about the AFCON. So much, Omo Ichok on this channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell and subscribe to this channel. Don't miss out on any of the action. And as the hot, I go to Savona, you know, from any part of the world, you know, and of course plans are there to look at what's going to be happening with the AFCON and so much more. So stick around, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you for watching. Bye.